Well, I said I'd be back, and back I am. Welcome to another episode, another fun-filled, casual weekend episode of Autistic Reactions, where we monetize our mental illnesses and we show minimal emotion as we emotionally react to things that we're passionately excited about, and we talk about all the things that most people don't give a crap about in the video and in the songs. That has nothing to do with the songs typically. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back. This is the place where we're watching the songs now. Hey, Sharon's here. She says, what are we doing? We are going to watch Hi-Rez's new song, Bad Dreams, because somebody submitted it. I think it was Matthew Ryan Butts. Dear God, can you imagine? Can you imagine growing up with the last name Butts? B-U-T-T-S. Anyway, Matthew, I think he goes by Matthew. I don't know him super personally. I mostly refer to him as Butts. But yeah, Butts sent this in, and so we're gonna watch it. I guess it would be a Freak of the Week submission, but do we really need to play that right now? I don't think we do. Yeah, no. As you guys know, I am more inclined to react to things if I know that they're like politically driven songs. Like, I don't want to just, like, react to the latest Justin Bieber album or Taylor Swift song about how she broke up with Chad this week instead of Brad last week and how much it matters now. By the way, if you find yourself, I don't know, like, if anybody had as many ex-boyfriends as Taylor Swift publicly did, why would you ever, like, take advice from them, like political advice? Or like emotional advice, relationship advice. I mean, anybody that non-committal to life, I don't know. I mean, she's got some things going for her, like the whole job and all that stuff, and songs that she totally wrote herself and didn't pay somebody a bunch of money to write for her about Brad and Chad. But yeah, it doesn't make me, lend more credibility to you if you've been around the block a time or 12. Per album. Sharon says, can you go post? No, that's your job, Sharon. I dream of Electric Dan. I don't know what that means. You dream of Electric Dan, or you dream of Electric Dan? Do you dream of a time when we can all afford $60,000 cars and drive around green? Anyway, so most of the, as I was saying, most of the songs that I'm going to respond to, if you guys submit them or what have you, are going to be something that is political or something that is controversial or something. I got to have more of a reason than it's just a tasty jam. So let me find my screen here, and then we'll watch some Hi-Rez. Hi-Rez has also been on the show. If you're new, you might not know. If you've been on the show, if you want me to review somebody or react to somebody, it's preferable that they've been on the show, because otherwise I'm not going to give a crap about them. If they don't care about me, I'm not going to care about them. Hi-Rez has been on the show. Tom McDonald has been on the show, so I will continue reviewing them whenever I get a chance. This is, ladies and gentlemen, Hi-Rez, Bad Dreams, and I have a feeling it's going to be political, given that it's opening with a shot of the Antichrist.
Common sense, bipartisan bill that is the best chance we've had in years to fix our broken immigration system. It will build on what we've done and continue to strengthen our borders.
They're gonna hate me for this one.
So Obama was specifically talking about borders. I'm not sure if I have a feeling this is going somewhere. Got immigration.
Defending borders doesn't mean just defending white Americans. Most American border patrol is Mexican. It's evident the president and all those who elected and pretending that they genuine. It's all about the Benjamins. These intelligence agencies hiding all of the skeletons. Kids overdose on fentanyl. If not, they'll find some heroin. Use emotion.
I mean, they'll find fentanyl or heroin, whether it's coming from Mexico or coming from Bill down the road. So I'm guessing this is I don't know if the whole song is border centric, but talking about some border stuff, which as a libertarian, it can go both ways, and I do swing both ways when it comes to borders. As a libertarian, it's like in my brain, I always hold two ideals, or two. There's like the ideal utopian version of the libertarian idea, and then there's the more realistic current present idea that I still think is libertarian. So the utopian version of me thinks, it'd be great to not have any of these borders, because that would mean there's no states, there's no governments, and we're kind of free to roam about as we choose. But we currently have governments. We do currently have borders. It doesn't really make any sense to have a government without a border, because they have to know where their power stops. And while it might let more people come into our country, it also doesn't. It makes it harder to prevent their power from expanding beyond their own borders. So there is benefit both ways here. And also, I do land in the camp of, like, as long as we have welfare states and people pushing for, no IDs for voting and things like that, then I do think that we have to have some sort of a border. And if we have some sort of a border, we should be securing it in some form or fashion. Now, I don't care if well-meaning people sneak into the country. I think that's great. Do it. I encourage it. It would be the best case scenario for what we have right now, in my opinion, is secure the border and then make it substantially easier to cross the border legally. But yes, again, ideally, I would love for free roam, everybody, no complications, what have you. Hector Ruse says, totally with you, Mr. Daniel. Do not call me that. Only your mother is allowed to call me Mr. Daniel.
Tactics distracting us from what's relevant. Where's the real feminists and real humanitarians? Kids getting kidnapped, murdered and raped. They call you racist if you saying you don't think that's great. Acting open-minded, but you really filled up with hate. Hollywood just push the same agenda, but it's so fake. All these celebrities would never let you into their home. Protecting Ukraine's borders before protecting our own.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not you think the borders should be open, the people who are pushing for open borders are pushing for stricter borders in Ukraine. The people who are pushing for open borders are, like, the whole DeSantis thing. I know that was a bit of a kerfuffle and a disagreement amongst some libertarians. Whether or not you think it was a good thing, what he did, it did expose some things in beautiful ways. And he flew, the illegal immigrants, he flew them up to what's it called, Martha's Vineyard, and all the rich folk who support the open borders said, there's nothing we can possibly do with these 50 people. There's nothing in our giant mansions and our luxury that we can possibly do for these 50 people. So what did they do? They brought in the National Guard and chipped them out. These people are hypocrites. It doesn't matter if you agree that the border should be open, but you have to realize that they are fucking hypocrites that don't care about you. They know that you want to do the nice thing and let everybody in. Like, to some degree, they know that a lot of their voting base wants a lot of people, the voting base wants people to be more leniently allowed into the country. I'm pretty sure that most people would be fine with that as long as they're peaceful, well-meaning people. But the powers that be, that they don't care about more people coming in. They care how that affects them in their political position. They're pawns. You're pawns. We're all pawns in their game, and they don't care. If it's politically expedient for them to be open borders, they will be open borders. If it's politically expedient for them to be closed borders, they will be closed borders. And we know that by the fact that, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, all these Democrats used to be in the exact same position as Donald Trump today. We had to shut down the borders. Won't somebody think of the children? All that shit. So they're hypocrites and they're full of shit. If they do something that helps you, it's only by a happy accident. Your government doesn't love you. They're doing things for themselves, and sometimes it just happens to benefit you.
About America, you say it's not the best here. Tell me why millions of people die just to get here. Turn on the news every day, everything not what it says. Make the rules, they don't even care who sings. A lot gets halfway around the whole world.
That's a good hook. That's a tasty hook. One of the biggest issues I have with most political, artists and rappers and things is they fail in the art. They do really well in the words, and I can agree with them wholeheartedly, but if the song sucks, then I just don't care. Talk about it a lot on the show. Parking the message cart before the art horse. The Christian industry is notorious for this, where you watch a Christian film and you're like, oh, you wanted to be a youth pastor, but you decided to be a filmmaker instead. Because you had something to say, you just didn't have a way to say it, and you decided the best way is to make a shitty film and try and push a message. It doesn't work. Point being, that's not what this is. I mean, sure, it is very clearly and emphatically stating his political position, but the art has to come first, and the art is like the next level above. Like the message is good, and the art is above it. So win-win. This hook is kick-ass. I would listen to this hook even if I didn't agree with the message.
Life and all the love that it bring. The cartel been working hand in hand with the feds. They'll take America down, all over power and bread. It's like a virus that spreads. I'll speak the truth till I'm dead. God got me, you can never put a price on my head. Keep electing these corrupt politicians is puzzling. Deciding laws for the cities they don't live in, they're struggling. Acting open-minded, but you not the ones that are suffering. Making anti-gun laws, they're making money from smuggling. Corrupt Democrats, Republicans, they one and the same. Just another hashtag without making a change. Defund the police? Hell nah, we need more there. Kids die.
I don't know about that.
I wish that it were more rare. It's like a
Yeah, I'm not a fan of kids dying, and also more police. I'm not sure if that's the answer. We need more something. I mean, we need at least police reform. I'm not saying defund the police. I'm saying fix it in any way possible, because it's broken as shit. And making more of the same thing without fixing the problem does not fix the problem. Heaping more piles of bad apples onto the bunch does not help the bunch become good. Yeah, like, it's a tough one. And, of course, the libertarian, ideal utopian version of my brain is like, as much as we can, privatize cops. I actually have done some work for a company that is like doing their own private security thing and presenting it as like, this is a replacement for the cops in the long term. We'll go alongside the cops and be your private security for your local town, your local little neighborhood or whatever. So you know that you know your cops, you know them personally, you know that they're there because they care about you. And even if they don't care about you, they're there to do a better job because their paycheck is on the line if they don't do a good job. The government cops don't have that variable where they have to actually do a good job to get paid. They just get paid by force. You're forced to give them money to pay for them to do a shitty job. So I disagree with you, Mr. Rez. We need more something. We need more security, but we don't need more cops, really. We need more humans that are there to serve and protect and not there to meet a quota. So I guess it would be meeting a quota to some degree. But the quota should be, they should be, never mind. We don't need to get too deeply into the weeds. You get what I'm saying. What do we got in the chats? Anybody? Hector is arguing with me about Santa stuff. No surprise. Love you. Hector says the program was also a gross overreach of his authority. All right, we've moved on. Back to the song.
Course there, I guess that money talks, yeah. My heart aches for every single life that been lost here. Turn on the news every day, everything now what it seems. Make the rules, they don't even care who sees.
I do like that line. Make the rules, break the rules, they don't even care who sees. Like, we've always known that the corrupt elite were corrupt, but they used to lie. They used to try a little harder. I mean, now they lie, but they used to lie in ways that you could understand why people believed it. Like, they used to tell decent lies. They used to make up decent stories. Even Hollywood used to make up stories that were more convincing than what they have now. It's like they're all this, like they've just run out of ideas, and mostly they just don't give a shit. They're just going to lie, and they don't care if you know, because they know that we're not going to say it. They know that the vast majority of people aren't even going to have a conversation like this. The vast majority of people that will find out that the media lies, about something, or the elites made mask mandates and they went out in public without a mask on, and the vast majority of people are going to say absolutely nothing about it because it's uncomfortable to talk about. They don't care if you know. Yes, they lied. They lied to your face. Now what? They're bragging on a daily basis. Paul Pelosi, Jeffrey Epstein, the Covington kids, Jussie Smollett, the what's his face, the NASCAR guy with the noose, all the things that they make up, they just lie. They tell you a thing, and then you say, no, that's not true, and they say, yeah, I know. Oh well, we're the big dogs. You can't do anything about it. So, yep, lied to you. Don't care.
The nation's deadliest case of human smuggling. This empty trailer, now tied to the deaths of 53 men, women, and potentially children.
All Americans, not only in the states most
There it
heavily
is.
affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards.
Oh, this was what did that say? This was never a one-sided. This was never a one-sided issue. Why is it now? Yeah, so the whole thing was about the border stuff, and yeah, it wasn't a one-sided issue before. Now it is all of a sudden, which seems odd. It almost seems like they're trying to divide us about things. Seems like they're trying to divide us. It almost seems intentional, because there was the Trump and those cages that were all over the news about how Trump kept these kids at the border in cages, which, to be clear, is terrible. That's awful, and I don't like that happens. But as Trump said, and he was absolutely correct about, who built the cages, Joe? Barack Obama and Joe Biden built those cages. They put them there. They made it happen. Like, this is not a new development that started with Trump. Frickin' Bill Clinton was in the same camp. And then Joe Biden comes along and says, no, we're everybody's allowed in. Then he keeps the cages, makes more cages, puts more kids in more cages. And, yeah, he tells everybody that they can come in. Then he's still he's still doing the same things that Donald Trump did. He's just pretending like he's not. They're both wrong. Secure the border. Sure. Yeah. Okay. And also why is it so difficult to become a citizen if somebody legitimately wants to? I don't know. It's not a one or the other issue, in my opinion. It is a yes and issue. It's a what can we do right now to alleviate the bleed of criminality, and because if a well-meaning person sneaks in here, I don't personally have an issue with that, but them doing that makes puts more people in danger in this I don't know, just like the precedent of, well, if the cops are ramped up because people are sneaking in, well-meaning people, then there's more cops and there's more of the cop problem. Like, it's just a festering trash topic to even talk about, because also, as was pointed out, the same people that think that the border should be open, they also think that we're like a white supremacist Nazi evil nation that deserves to burn. So it's confusing messaging all around. I think that America is pretty darn good enough that if I lived in Mexico, I might try to get into it. And I also think that America has a lot of problems that need to be worked on, and they present the issue as Republicans hate Mexicans and Democrats want your children to be raped by Mexicans or something. Like, it's such polarizing nonsense. Good people, come on in my opinion. I wish that we would focus more on the actual process of making it possible for well-meaning people to enter the country, instead of focusing on racism and more racism. I don't know. Guys, this has been something. I would give this song on a musical level, I'd probably around an 8 on an all-around level. Actually, I'm not rating just based on music, but together the combination of maybe not an 8. Some of the themes, I was like, I agree with you, and this is an important point to make, but there was something about the theme that wasn't that interesting to me. The border stuff is important, but hearing a song about border policing is just not that exciting, in my opinion. It's not something that like gets you hyped up like This Is a War, him and Jimmy Levy's explosion song. So maybe I'll bump it down a bit. I would say, because of taking all things into account, the thematic points, the overall message being said, and the musicality of it, I would maybe a 7.5, somewhere in there. I don't know. It's all arbitrary. I'll go obsess about this later and feel bad that I only gave him a 7.5, or I'll feel like bad that I gave him too high of a ranking once I overanalyze this later on. But thank you for being here for this reaction, and have a good weekend, everybody. I'm glad that the election stuff is finally drawing down to a close, and so now my time is a little bit more opened up for at least a small window. So hopefully we can do more stuff like this together, and hopefully we will. Until next time, whenever that may be, go like, subscribe, do the things that millennials do, share this and stuff, because I'm not going to share these out. If you're here, you're here. If you're not, you're not. Thanks for being here, and we'll do it again soon. As soon as I find my outro. Where's my outro? I just did this. How is it gone? Fine. I guess we'll play the Tom out with a wrong picture on it, probably. Thanks, guys. Stay weird.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here is how the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.